Jurassic World, Sorna. By Aidan Richardson. The midday sun streamed through the windows of a quaint diner, casting warm hues across the checkered floor. Alex Marsh sat across from Jackson Hardwell and Dr. Rebecca Lynn, the clinking of cutlery and low hum of conversation enveloping them. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the savory scent of burgers sizzling on the grill. Jackson leaned forward, his voice low yet urgent. "Alex, there's something you need to know about Isla Sorna." Alex's brow furrowed, his sea blue eyes meeting Jackson's with a mix of curiosity and concern. "What's going on?" Rebecca glanced at the bustling diner, ensuring their conversation remained private. "We've received information that Bison and Injun, once rivals, are planning to reform the island." "Reform?" Alex echoed, the word heavy with implications. Jackson nodded, his expression grave. "They're planning to hunt down and kill every dinosaur on the island. Their goal is to build a new amusement park, featuring hybrid dinosaurs as the main attraction." The notion hung in the air, a chilling reminder of the consequences of human ambition. Alex's thoughts raced, memories of Isla Nublar flashing through his mind, the danger, the survival, and the unyielding beauty of nature. "That's madness," Alex said, his voice firm. "We can't let them do that." Rebecca's eyes softened with understanding. "That's why we need to go back, Alex. We need to document everything, gather evidence, and find a way to stop them." Alex leaned back, the weight of the decision settling on his shoulders. He thought of Isabella, her adventurous spirit and unwavering determination. She would want to be part of this, to stand against the exploitation of nature. "Isabella will want to join us," Alex said, his resolve evident. "She's grown so much since Nublar, and her insights could be invaluable." Jackson and Rebecca exchanged a glance, both knowing the risks involved. Yet, they also understood the importance of having a diverse team, each member bringing unique strengths to the mission. "Then it's settled," Jackson said, his tone resolute. "We'll prepare for the journey to Isla Sorna. Time is of the essence." Rebecca nodded in agreement, her mind already racing with plans and strategies. "We'll need to be discreet. If Bison and Injun catch wind of our presence, it could jeopardize everything." As they continued to discuss logistics and potential allies, the reality of the mission crystallized. The stakes were higher than ever, but so was their determination to protect the island and its inhabitants. Alex took a deep breath, the familiar thrill of adventure coursing through him. This was more than a mission, it was a chance to make a difference, to stand up for what was right. The sun dipped lower in the sky as they left the diner, the path ahead uncertain yet filled with purpose. Together, they would face the challenges of Isla Sorna, united by a shared goal and unwavering resolve. Alex Marsh left the diner with a renewed sense of purpose, the weight of the mission settling in his mind. He climbed into his car, the engine's hum a familiar comfort. As he drove through the city streets, his thoughts drifted to Isabella, his daughter, whose passion for discovery mirrored his own. Meanwhile, at MIT, Isabella Summers stirred awake at her desk, the remnants of a late-night study session scattered around her. Her textbooks lay open, pages filled with notes and ideas. She rubbed her eyes, blinking away the remnants of sleep as the morning sun streamed through the window. A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. Curious, Isabella stood and crossed the small dorm room, opening the door to reveal her father, Alex Marsh, standing there with a warm smile. "Dad!" Isabella exclaimed, surprised yet delighted to see him. Alex chuckled softly, stepping inside as she moved aside. "Hey, Izzy. Thought I'd drop by and see if you wanted to go to the park with me." Isabella's eyes lit up at the suggestion. "I'd love to. Just let me grab my things." She quickly gathered her essentials, her excitement palpable. The thought of spending time with her father, amidst the greenery and tranquility of the park, was a welcome respite from her academic pursuits. As they left the dorm, Alex couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Isabella had grown so much since their adventure on Isla Nublar, her intellect and determination shining brightly. He knew she would be an invaluable asset on their upcoming mission to Isla Sorna. The drive to the park was filled with easy conversation, the bond between father and daughter evident in their shared laughter and stories. As they arrived, the sprawling expanse of greenery stretched before them, inviting exploration and reflection. They walked along the winding paths, the rustle of leaves and chirping of birds creating a serene backdrop. Isabella glanced at her father, sensing the weight on his mind. "What's going on, Dad?" she asked gently, her curiosity piqued. Alex paused, considering how much to share. "There's a new mission, Izzy. Isla Sorna. It's complicated, but we need to protect the island and its inhabitants." Isabella's eyes widened, a mix of excitement and determination flashing across her face. "I want to help. I can be part of the team, Dad." Alex smiled, knowing this was exactly what he had hoped for. "I was counting on it. Your insights and skills will be crucial." As they continued their walk, both father and daughter felt the gravity of what lay ahead. Together, they would face the challenges, their shared goal uniting them in purpose and resolve. The sun cast its golden glow over Los Angeles as Alex and Isabella arrived at the laboratory where Rebecca Lynn and Jackson Hardwell were waiting. The facility, a hub of scientific innovation and discovery, buzzed with energy and purpose. As they entered, the familiar scent of antiseptic and the hum of machinery greeted them. Rebecca stood by the large screen, her expression focused and determined. She greeted Alex and Isabella with a nod, gesturing for them to join her and Jackson at the central console. "Welcome," Rebecca said, her voice steady. "We've got a lot to discuss." Isabella's eyes darted to the screen, where images of dinosaurs flickered into view. The sight was both awe-inspiring and sobering, a reminder of the incredible creatures they were fighting to protect. Rebecca clicked through the images, each one capturing the majesty and power of the dinosaurs inhabiting Isla Sorna. "These are the species we need to protect at all costs," she explained, her tone resolute. The first image was of the Spinosaurus, its massive form dominating the screen. Its elongated snout and sail-like spine were unmistakable, a symbol of raw strength and adaptability. Next, the T-Rex appeared, its formidable presence a testament to nature's awe-inspiring design. Isabella's gaze lingered on the image, memories of Isla Nublar flooding back, both the terror and the wonder. Rebecca continued, showcasing the velociraptors. Their cunning intelligence and pack dynamics were legendary, a reminder of the delicate balance between predator and prey. Finally, the Allosaurus, its predatory grace captured in motion, filled the screen. The creature's sleek form and piercing eyes spoke of a bygone era, a time when these giants ruled the earth. "These dinosaurs are not just remnants of the past," Rebecca said, her voice tinged with urgency. "They represent a living legacy, one we must protect from the greed and exploitation of bison and InGen." Jackson nodded in agreement, his expression serious. "We've got our work cut out for us. But with the right strategy and determination, we can make a difference." Alex placed a reassuring hand on Isabella's shoulder, sensing her resolve. "We're in this together, Izzy. We'll do whatever it takes to protect them." The room was filled with a palpable sense of purpose, each member of the team committed to their cause. The stakes were high, but so was their determination to stand against the forces threatening Isla Sorna. As they strategized and planned, the images of the dinosaur served as a powerful reminder of what was at stake, a world of wonder and mystery, waiting to be preserved for future generations. The atmosphere in the laboratory was charged with a sense of urgency and determination. As the images of the majestic dinosaurs faded from the screen, Alex Marsh turned to his team, his mind racing with possibilities. They needed allies, individuals who shared their vision and could contribute their expertise to the mission. "We can't do this alone," Alex said, his voice firm. "We need to reach out to potential allies who might support our mission. I have a few names in mind." Isabella, Rebecca, and Jackson listened intently as Alex listed the individuals who could become invaluable partners in their quest to protect Isla Sorna. "First, there's Rachel Knightley," Alex began. "She's a renowned paleontologist with a deep understanding of dinosaur behavior and ecosystems. Her insights could be crucial in developing strategies to protect the species on the island." Rebecca nodded, recognizing the importance of Rachel's expertise. Having someone with her knowledge would be a significant advantage. "Then there's Connor Princeton," Alex continued. "He's a scientist known for his innovative approaches to conservation and wildlife management. His experience in dealing with endangered species could be instrumental." Jackson leaned forward, considering the possibilities. "Connor's methods could help us devise new ways to safeguard the dinosaurs." "Professor Michael Brown is another potential ally," Alex added. "He's an expert in genetics and has been a vocal advocate for ethical scientific practices. His perspective could help us navigate the ethical dilemmas we might face." Isabella's eyes lit up at the mention of Professor Brown. His work on genetic preservation could align perfectly with our goals. "Jacob Monterey is a field researcher with extensive experience in remote expeditions," Alex said. "His skills in navigating challenging terrains and environments would be invaluable on Isla Sorna." And lastly, Lindsay Olson, Alex concluded. "She's a brilliant scientist with a focus on ecological balance and sustainability. Her input could guide us in creating a harmonious coexistence between humans and dinosaurs." Rebecca smiled, seeing the potential in these alliances. "Each of them brings something unique to the table. Together, we could form a formidable team." The group agreed that reaching out to these individuals was a crucial step in their mission. As they began drafting messages and making calls, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose grew stronger. With each ally they hoped to recruit, their chances of success increased. The path ahead was daunting, but with the right support, they could make a meaningful impact on Isla Sorna and its inhabitants. The laboratory hummed with anticipation as Rebecca Lynn sifted through her messages. Her eyes widened with surprise and excitement when she saw a response from Professor Michael Brown, a renowned geneticist and advocate for ethical scientific practices. "Guys, you won't believe this," Rebecca announced, her voice tinged with excitement. "Professor Michael Brown is eager to assist us. And there's more, he's actually visited Isla Sorna before." Isabella and Jackson exchanged intrigued glances, while Alex leaned in, curious to hear more. Rebecca continued, reading aloud from Michael's message. "He mentioned that he spent time on the island and even wrote a book about his experiences there. His book details various aspects of the island, including fascinating facts about dinosaurs like the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus." The revelation hung in the air, a beacon of hope and knowledge. Having someone with first-hand experience of Isla Sorna could provide invaluable insights for their mission. "That's incredible," Isabella said, her eyes wide with admiration. "His first-hand knowledge could give us the edge we need." Jackson nodded in agreement. "If he documented his experiences, we might find crucial information that can guide our approach." Rebecca quickly composed a reply, expressing their gratitude and eagerness to collaborate. She also requested a copy of his book, hoping it would offer a deeper understanding of the island and its inhabitants. As they waited for Michael's response, the team discussed the potential impact of his involvement. His expertise in genetics, combined with his personal experiences on Isla Sorna, made him an invaluable ally. "With Michael on our side, we can better anticipate the challenges we'll face," Alex said, his resolve strengthening. "His insights could help us protect the dinosaurs and counter the company's plans." The room buzzed with renewed energy, each member of the team motivated by the prospect of working alongside Professor Brown. Together, they could forge a path toward safeguarding Isla Sorna and its incredible wildlife. As they continued to plan and strategize, the knowledge that Michael Brown brought to the table became a beacon of hope, a reminder that they were not alone in their mission. As the team buzzed with excitement over the potential collaboration with Professor Michael Brown, they eagerly awaited the arrival of his book. Just then, a flurry of notifications broke the anticipation, signaling replies from their other potential allies. Rebecca opened Connor Princeton's message first. She read it aloud, her voice steady but revealing a hint of concern. Connor's hesitant. He expresses doubts about the dangers of returning to Isla Sorna. He mentions fears of being killed on the island, but after some reflection, he reluctantly agrees to join us. "That's understandable," Alex replied, recognizing the weight of Connor's fears. "The island is perilous, and anyone would be apprehensive." Next, Rebecca opened Lindsay Olson's response. Lindsay is on board. She expresses her enthusiasm for the mission and emphasizes her commitment to ecological balance. She believes that protecting the dinosaurs aligns perfectly with her research goals. "That's great news," Isabella said, her excitement bubbling over. "Lindsay's expertise will be invaluable in understanding the ecosystem." Rebecca continued, moving to Jacob Monterey's message. Jacob's in too. He shares his eagerness to help and mentions that he's been preparing for fieldwork. He knows the island's terrain and is ready to assist with navigation. Jackson nodded, impressed. Having Jacob on the team will make a huge difference. His experience in remote expeditions will be crucial. Finally, Rebecca opened Rachel Knightley's email. Rachel is also in. She's passionate about dinosaur conservation and believes this mission is vital. She's ready to lend her expertise in paleontology to help protect the species. The room erupted in cheers and applause, the weight of their mission suddenly feeling lighter with the support of their allies. Each new team member brought unique skills and perspectives, strengthening their resolve to protect Isla Sorna. As they celebrated their growing team, Rebecca glanced at the clock, anticipation building for Michael's book to arrive. The prospect of having such a wealth of knowledge at their fingertips was invigorating. "With Connor's caution and our new allies, we have a solid foundation," Alex said, his voice filled with determination. "Together, we can take on whatever challenges Isla Sorna throws at us." The sense of unity and purpose filled the room, each member of the team ready to face the unknown as they prepared for their journey to Isla Sorna. As the team continued to discuss their plans, a notification pinged on Rebecca's tablet, drawing everyone's attention. She quickly glanced at the screen, her eyes widening with excitement. "Guys, Michael's book has been delivered," she announced, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "It's here." The room erupted in cheers as Isabella jumped up from her seat, her curiosity palpable. "Let's go get it. I can't wait to see what insights it holds." Jackson grinned, already moving toward the door. "I'll grab it. It's about time we get our hands on that information." As Jackson stepped out of the laboratory, the anticipation in the room was electric. Each member of the team felt the weight of the moment. The knowledge contained within the pages could shape their strategies and approaches to the challenges ahead. When Jackson returned moments later, the book clutched tightly in his hands, the cover adorned with a striking image of a T-Rex against a backdrop of Isla Sorna's lush landscape. The title read, Isla Sorna, A Journey Through Time and Nature. Here it is, Jackson declared, holding it up triumphantly. Rebecca took the book, her fingers gently tracing the cover before flipping it open. The scent of fresh ink and paper filled the air as she began to leaf through the pages, her eyes scanning the detailed illustrations and descriptions of the island's unique ecosystems and the dinosaurs that inhabited them. Look at this, Rebecca exclaimed, pointing to an illustration of the Spinosaurus. Michael documented its behavior and habitat extensively. This could help us understand how to approach them safely. Isabella leaned over Rebecca's shoulder, captivated by the images and facts. And here's a section on the T-Rex. It talks about its hunting patterns and social behavior. The group gathered around, engrossed in the book as they flipped through pages filled with vivid descriptions and stunning illustrations. Each new revelation sparked discussions about tactics and strategies for their impending journey to Isla Sorna. This is going to be a game changer, Alex said, his voice filled with determination. With Michael's insights, we can plan our approach more effectively and ensure the safety of the dinosaurs. As they continued to explore the book, the room filled with a sense of purpose and excitement. The knowledge they were gaining would empower them as they prepared for the challenges ahead, uniting them in their mission to protect Isla Sorna and its inhabitants. As the excitement in the room swirled around Michael's book, Isabella's mind raced with ideas. She turned to her father and the rest of the team, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. What if we create a presentation based on Michael's findings? We could share it with our allies to ensure everyone is on the same page before the expedition. Alex nodded, impressed by Isabella's initiative. That's a fantastic idea, Izzy. It will help us organize the information and present it clearly to everyone involved. Rebecca smiled, already envisioning the layout. We can highlight key points about each dinosaur, their behaviors, and the strategies we need to implement to protect them. Jackson added, we should also include potential threats from the companies and any environmental factors we need to consider. This will prepare everyone for what lies ahead. Isabella beamed at their support, feeling a sense of purpose. I can take the lead on putting the presentation together. I'll gather the most important information from the book and create slides for each dinosaur, along with our strategies. The team quickly gathered around the central console, where they began brainstorming the structure of the presentation. They divided the sections, each taking responsibility for different aspects of the content. As Isabella worked on the slides, the team members contributed their thoughts on how to best convey the information. They discussed the T-Rex's hunting patterns, the Spinosaurus's territorial behavior, and the social dynamics of the velociraptors, ensuring each detail was accurate and comprehensive. Hours passed, filled with collaboration and creativity. The atmosphere was charged with excitement as they crafted a presentation that would not only inform but inspire their allies to join their cause wholeheartedly. Finally, as they completed the last slide, Isabella stepped back, admiring their work. I think we have something really special here. This will give our allies a clear understanding of the mission and the importance of protecting Isla Sorna. Alex looked over the slides, pride swelling in his chest. Great job, everyone. This will be a powerful tool for rallying support. With the presentation complete, the team felt a renewed sense of unity and purpose. They were ready to face the challenges ahead, armed with knowledge and determination. The day of the presentation dawned bright and clear, the sun filtering through the windows of the laboratory, casting a warm glow over the room. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as Alex, Isabella, Rebecca, and Jackson prepared for the arrival of their allies. Each member of the team was eager to share their findings and discuss the plans for their mission to Isla Sorna. As the clock ticked closer to the start time, the door swung open, and their allies began to arrive. Lindsay Olsen was the first to step in, her enthusiasm palpable as she greeted the team. I can't wait to see what you've put together. Following her was Connor Princeton, who entered with a cautious smile. Despite his earlier doubts, he seemed determined to contribute to the mission. I hope you have some good news for us, he said, his tone light but his eyes betraying a hint of apprehension. Professor Michael Brown walked in next, carrying a stack of papers and a laptop. His presence commanded respect, and he offered a warm smile as he approached the group. I'm excited to see how my observations can help. I've brought some additional notes that might be useful. Jacob Monterey followed closely behind, his backpack slung over one shoulder. Ready for an adventure, he declared, his enthusiasm infectious. He looked around the room, taking in the energy of the team. Lastly, Rachel Knightley entered, her eyes sparkling with determination. I've been looking forward to this meeting all week. Let's get started. Once everyone was settled, Alex stood at the front of the room, a sense of pride swelling within him as he looked at the diverse group of experts gathered before him. Thank you all for coming. We've put together a presentation that outlines our findings and strategies for the mission ahead. Isabella stepped forward, clicking the remote to begin the slideshow. The first slide displayed a stunning image of Isla Sorna, the lush greenery juxtaposed with the silhouette of a T-Rex in the background. As the presentation unfolded, each member of the team took turns discussing the key points. They highlighted the behaviors of the dinosaurs, potential threats from the corporate entities, and the ethical considerations they needed to address. The room was filled with engaged discussion, questions, and insights as they delved deeper into the complexities of their mission. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of purpose, each ally committed to the cause. As they wrapped up the presentation, Alex felt a wave of optimism wash over him. They were united, a team ready to face the challenges that lay ahead on Isla Sorna. As the presentation concluded, a palpable enthusiasm filled the room, but it was quickly tempered by a wave of apprehension. Connor Princeton shifted in his seat, his brow furrowed with concern. After a moment of silence, he finally spoke up, his voice steady but laced with worry. "I appreciate all the information, but I can't shake the feeling that we might be walking into a death trap," Connor admitted, his gaze sweeping over the group. "Isla Sorna is dangerous, and we need to be fully prepared for what we might face. What safety measures do we have in place?" The room fell silent for a moment as everyone considered Connor's words. His apprehension resonated with the gravity of their mission. The lush beauty of the island belied its inherent dangers, and the thought of facing down dinosaurs while contending with corporate threats was daunting. Isabella, sitting beside her father, sensed the tension. She leaned slightly forward, her voice calm and reassuring. "Connor, I understand your concerns. It's completely valid to be worried about the dangers, but we can't let fear paralyze us. We need to focus on preparation and strategy." Connor nodded, his expression softening as he listened to her. "I just want to make sure we have a solid plan in place. I don't want anyone getting hurt." Rebecca chimed in, her tone encouraging. "That's exactly why we're here together. We can discuss safety protocols, establish clear roles, and ensure everyone knows how to respond in case of an emergency." Lindsay added, "We should also consider contingency plans for various scenarios, especially if we encounter aggressive dinosaurs or if the corporate entities attempt to intervene." Michael leaned forward, his experience evident. "I can help draft an emergency response plan based on my previous experiences on the island. We must ensure everyone is trained to handle unexpected situations." Isabella smiled at Connor, her confidence radiating. "We'll work through this together, and we'll have each other's backs. We have a strong team, and with the right preparation, we can mitigate the risks." Feeling reassured by Isabella's words, Connor took a deep breath, his shoulders relaxing. "Okay, I'm in. Let's make sure we cover all bases." The team began discussing specific safety measures, outlining emergency protocols and assigning roles for monitoring and communication during their time on Isla Sorna. Each member contributed their insights, and the atmosphere shifted from apprehension to focused determination. As they continued their preparations, the sense of camaraderie grew stronger. They were not just a group of scientists and adventurers, they were a united front, ready to face the challenges that awaited them. The bustling atmosphere of the airport was filled with the sounds of rolling luggage and excited chatter as the team prepared to board their plane to Isla Sorna. Alex Marsh stood by the check-in counter, reviewing their supplies one last time while Isabella chatted animatedly with Lindsay about their plans for the expedition. Suddenly, a roar of a motorcycle engine pierced through the air, drawing the attention of everyone in the vicinity. The noise grew louder, and a figure clad in a black leather jacket and riding a motorcycle appeared on the runway, weaving through the crowd with expert skill. The rider wore a sleek motorcycle helmet, obscuring their identity. Curiosity swept through the group as they watched the unexpected arrival. Just as the motorcycle came to a halt, the rider dismounted and removed the helmet, revealing a familiar face, Jasmine Marsh, Alex's wife and Isabella's mother. "Mom!" Isabella exclaimed, her eyes widening in surprise and delight. Alex rushed forward, a mix of relief and excitement washing over him. "Jasmine, I didn't expect you here." Jasmine grinned, her eyes sparkling with determination. "I got your message, Alex. I figured you could use some reinforcement. I'm here to help." The team gathered around, a sense of camaraderie and support enveloping them. Jasmine's presence brought a renewed energy to the group, her experience and skills adding another layer of strength to their mission. "We're grateful you came," Rebecca said, extending her hand in greeting. "We could definitely use your expertise on this expedition." Jasmine nodded, her expression serious. "I know the risks involved, and I'm ready to face them head-on. We need to protect those dinosaurs, and I won't let anything stop us." Isabella beamed with pride, her heart swelling at the sight of her mother joining them. "This is going to be amazing. With you here, we have an even better chance of success." As they prepared to board the plane, the team felt a sense of unity and purpose solidifying among them. With Jasmine on their side, they were more equipped to face the challenges that awaited them on Isla Sorna. The roar of the motorcycle still echoed in their minds, a reminder that they were not alone in their fight to protect the island and its inhabitants. As the team boarded the plane, a palpable sense of excitement and anticipation filled the cabin. The interior was spacious and designed for comfort, with large windows offering views of the bustling airport below. Jasmine took a seat next to Alex, while Isabella settled in beside her mother, eager to share their thoughts on the upcoming adventure. Just as everyone got comfortable, the pilot's voice crackled over the intercom, cutting through the chatter. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Flight 247 is about to take off, heading for the coastal island of Isla Sorna. Passengers, please fasten your seatbelts and hold onto your butts. And I thank you for flying with Coastal Seas Airlines. We hope you enjoy the flight." Laughter erupted among the team, easing any lingering tension. Alex exchanged a glance with Jasmine, both of them sharing a knowing smile. This was it, the beginning of their mission to protect Isla Sorna and its incredible inhabitants. As the plane began to taxi down the runway, Isabella leaned closer to Jasmine, her excitement bubbling over. "Mom, I can't believe you're here. What are you most looking forward to on the island?" Jasmine grinned, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "I'm excited to see the dinosaurs again, of course. But I'm also looking forward to working with all of you. This is a chance to make a real difference." As the plane lifted off the ground, the team gazed out the windows, watching the cityscape fade away, replaced by the vast blue ocean. The reality of their mission settled in, each member feeling the weight of their responsibility to protect the island and its inhabitants. With the flight underway, they had time to discuss strategies, share insights, and bond as a team. Laughter and conversations filled the cabin, blending with the hum of the engines as they soared toward Isla Sorna. As the plane cruised steadily over the vast expanse of ocean, the hum of the engines provided a soothing backdrop to the conversations filling the cabin. Connor Princeton, seated beside Professor Michael Brown, was brimming with excitement. The prospect of exploring Isla Sorna had ignited a spark in him, and he was eager to share his stories and experiences. Turning to Michael, Connor began animatedly recounting tales from his previous research trips. "You wouldn't believe some of the places I've been, Michael. There was this one time in the Amazon rainforest when we stumbled upon an undiscovered species of frog. The colors were absolutely mesmerizing," he continued, gesturing enthusiastically as he relived the adventures in his mind. "And then there was the time in Madagascar. We were tracking lemurs, and I swear, those little guys are smarter than they let on. It was incredible." However, as Connor shared his stories, he failed to notice that Michael had drifted off into a peaceful slumber, his head resting comfortably against the seat. The gentle rhythm of the plane had lulled him into a nap, leaving Connor to unknowingly carry on his monologue to an audience of one. Isabella, seated across the aisle, noticed the situation and stifled a laugh. She nudged Alex, who glanced over and chuckled softly at the sight. Connor, still oblivious, continued his enthusiastic storytelling, his voice a pleasant hum against the backdrop of the flight. Jasmine leaned over to Isabella, whispering with a grin, "Should we tell him?" Isabella shook her head, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Let him enjoy it. He'll realize eventually." As the plane continued its journey, the team settled into a comfortable rhythm, each member finding their own way to pass the time. The camaraderie and shared purpose united them, weaving a tapestry of stories and experiences that would guide them in the challenges to come. As the plane continued its smooth flight, Jasmine leaned back in her seat, a thoughtful expression on her face. "You know, everyone, it might be a good idea to take a moment to relax and rest before we reach Isla Sorna. We're going to need our energy once we land." The suggestion was met with nods of agreement, the team recognizing the wisdom in taking a brief respite. The journey ahead promised to be demanding, both physically and mentally, and a little relaxation could do wonders in preparing them for the challenges to come. Just as the atmosphere in the cabin settled into a peaceful calm, Jackson, seated by the window, suddenly straightened up, his eyes wide with astonishment. Guys, you might want to see this," he said, his voice tinged with disbelief. The rest of the team turned their attention to Jackson, curiosity piqued. He gestured toward the window, and as they peered outside, their eyes widened in awe. Soaring gracefully through the sky, silhouetted against the backdrop of clouds, was a magnificent creature, a Quetzalcoatlus. Its vast wingspan cast a shadow over the ocean below, its bird-like form a breathtaking sight to behold. With its elongated beak and impressive size, the Quetzalcoatlus was a close relative of the pterodactyl, a reminder of the ancient wonders that awaited them on Isla Sorna. "Wow," Isabella whispered, her voice filled with wonder. "I never imagined we'd see one so soon." The sight of the flying dinosaur filled the cabin with a renewed sense of excitement and anticipation. It was a glimpse of the extraordinary world they were about to enter, a world where the boundaries of time and nature blurred into a living tapestry of history. Jasmine smiled, her heart swelling with a mix of awe and determination. If that's what's waiting for us, I can't wait to get started. As the Quetzalcoatlus continued its majestic flight, the team felt a surge of energy and purpose. The challenges ahead were daunting, but the opportunity to witness and protect such wonders made every risk worthwhile. As the awe-inspiring sight of the Quetzalcoatlus faded into the distance, Connor's expression shifted from wonder to concern. He furrowed his brow, his voice tinged with anxiety. But what if it gets too close? Flying so near to such a large creature could be dangerous. What if it decides to attack? Isabella turned to Connor, her eyes softening as she recognized the worry etched on his face. Connor, I understand your concerns, but you have to remember that Quetzalcoatlus are generally not aggressive toward humans. They have a naturally calm demeanor and tend to avoid confrontation. Connor listened, his expression still uncertain. But they are massive. What if it feels threatened or thinks we pose a danger? Jasmine chimed in, her tone reassuring. Isabella's right. While they're large, Quetzalcoatlus primarily feed on fish and small animals. They're not known to attack humans unless provoked. Plus, we'll be on the ground soon, where we can observe them from a safe distance. Isabella nodded, her confidence shining through. Exactly. We'll have the chance to study them in their natural habitat without putting ourselves in danger. The key is to respect their space and behaviors. Feeling a bit more at ease, Connor took a deep breath. Okay, I get that. It's just a lot to take in. I guess I'm still adjusting to the idea of being so close to these creatures. Alex placed a reassuring hand on Connor's shoulder. It's perfectly normal to feel apprehensive, especially given the nature of our mission. But remember, we're all in this together. We'll have each other's backs. The team shared a moment of camaraderie, their shared purpose uniting them in the face of uncertainty. With the sighting of the Quetzalcoatlus still fresh in their minds, the excitement for their upcoming adventure rekindled, overshadowing the lingering fears. As the plane continued its journey toward Isla Sorna, each member of the team felt a renewed sense of determination, ready to embrace the challenges and wonders that awaited them. As the plane began its descent, the pilot's voice reverberated through the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be landing shortly at Isla Sorna. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened and all personal items are secured. Thank you for flying with us. The announcement prompted the team to spring into action, finalizing their preparations for the upcoming mission. Excitement and nervous energy filled the air as they gathered their notes and equipment, readying themselves for the challenges ahead. However, Jackson had other plans. He discreetly stood up, casting a quick glance around the cabin before announcing, I need to use the bathroom. With that, he made his way toward the back of the plane, a hint of mischief in his stride. Once in the cargo bay, Jackson quickly approached a secured crate where his secret companion was waiting. Inside was the velociraptor he had raised from the egg, a creature he had grown attached to during their previous expedition on Isla Nublar. He carefully opened the crate, revealing the raptor's bright eyes and eager demeanor. Hey there, buddy, Jackson whispered, kneeling down to meet the raptor's gaze. He reached into his satchel and pulled out a dead rat, holding it out. The raptor's instincts kicked in, and it lunged forward to snatch the meal from Jackson's hand. As the raptor devoured the rat, Jackson gently petted its head, feeling the warmth of its scales beneath his fingers. You're going to help us, aren't you? We're going to keep you safe, I promise. The raptor paused, looking up at Jackson with a mix of trust and curiosity. Jackson felt a surge of affection for the creature, knowing that their bond was unique and special. After a few moments, he carefully closed the crate, ensuring the raptor was secure before making his way back to his seat. Returning to the cabin, Jackson slipped into his seat just as the plane began its final approach to the island. He felt a sense of satisfaction knowing his companion was ready for whatever awaited them on Isla Sorna. As the plane touched down on the tarmac, the team felt the thrill of anticipation coursing through them. They were on the brink of an adventure that would test their skills, their bonds, and their resolve. As the plane's engines quieted, the team disembarked onto the sun-drenched tarmac of Isla Sorna. The air was thick with the scent of lush vegetation and the distant sounds of wildlife, a stark reminder of the untamed world that surrounded them. Excitement bubbled among the group as they grabbed their gear, preparing for the trek across the island. Jackson moved swiftly, ensuring that his luggage was loaded onto a nearby transport vehicle, but he couldn't shake the feeling of unease. His crate, covered with a blanket and tucked beneath his luggage, sat quietly but felt like it was a ticking time bomb. As the team began organizing their supplies, Connor suddenly paused, his brow furrowing in curiosity. He had heard a faint sound emanating from Jackson's crate, a soft scratching noise that piqued his interest. Hey, Jackson, he called out, glancing over at him. What's that sound coming from your crate? Jackson's heart raced as he turned to face Connor, feigning ignorance. "What sound? I don't hear anything," he replied, trying to maintain a casual demeanor. Connor narrowed his eyes, unconvinced. "It sounded like something moving in there. Are you sure it's just gear?" Jackson's stomach dropped, and he felt a bead of sweat trickle down his forehead. He couldn't let Connor discover his secret. "I really don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it's just the wind or something." Connor shrugged, still intrigued but ultimately dismissing the sound. "Must be my imagination, then. I thought I heard something." As Connor returned to organizing his gear, Jackson let out a silent sigh of relief, his heart rate slowly returning to normal. He had narrowly avoided being caught smuggling his prehistoric pet onto the plane, and the thought of losing his bond with the velociraptor sent a chill down his spine. With the team now gathered and ready, they began discussing their next steps. The thrill of adventure filled the air, but Jackson couldn't shake the lingering anxiety about keeping his secrets safe. As the team began to gather their equipment and discuss their plans, Jackson felt a surge of protectiveness over his crate. The thought of his velociraptor being discovered was too much to bear. He knew he needed to keep a closer watch on it, ensuring that no one became overly curious. "Hey, everyone," Jackson called out, trying to sound casual as he positioned himself closer to the crate. "I think it would be best if we keep an eye on our gear while we're setting up camp. You never know what might happen out here." Isabella raised an eyebrow, sensing the underlying tension in Jackson's tone. "Good idea. We should all be vigilant. This island can be unpredictable." Connor, still slightly puzzled by the earlier sound, nodded in agreement. "Right. We don't want to lose anything important before we even start our exploration." As the team continued to unpack and set up their base camp, Jackson discreetly kept his gaze on the crate, subtly shifting his position to ensure it remained within his line of sight. He felt a mix of anxiety and determination, knowing he had to protect his secret at all costs. Lindsay and Isabella busied themselves with setting up tents, while Alex and Connor discussed their route for the day. Jackson used the opportunity to blend in, feigning interest in their plans while keeping a watchful eye on the crate. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the team finally settled into a rhythm. They were eager to explore the island, but Jackson's thoughts remained occupied with the crate and the secret it held. He knew he had to be cautious, but the thrill of adventure was calling to him. With the base camp established and the team ready to embark on their journey, Jackson felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was determined to protect his velociraptor while contributing to the mission to safeguard Isla Sorna's incredible wildlife. As the team gathered around their makeshift camp, excitement rippled through the group as they discussed their first destination. After some deliberation, they decided to head toward a nearby river that was rumored to have frequent dinosaur sightings. The prospect of encountering these magnificent creatures sent a thrill through each member of the team. With their gear packed and spirits high, they set off on the trek through the dense jungle. The sounds of wildlife surrounded them, a symphony of chirps, roars, and rustles that hinted at the vibrant ecosystem thriving around them. As they approached the river, the underbrush began to thin, revealing a breathtaking sight. The shimmering water sparkled in the sunlight, and there, at the water's edge, stood multiple dinosaurs, their forms majestic against the backdrop of the lush landscape. Michael Brown halted in his tracks, his eyes wide with awe. He had dedicated his life to studying dinosaurs, but nothing could compare to witnessing them in their natural habitat. The reality of the prehistoric creatures before him felt surreal, as if he were living a dream he had longed for. "Look at that!" Michael exclaimed, pointing toward a group of herbivorous dinosaurs grazing peacefully by the riverbank. "I can't believe it. This is incredible." The team gathered around, their hearts racing at the sight. A pair of brachiosaurs stretched their long necks to reach the leafy branches above, while a smaller herd of triceratops wandered nearby, their iconic frills and horns on full display. Isabella took in the scene, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "This is exactly what we came for. We need to document everything." Jackson, still keeping an eye on his crate, felt a surge of pride at the sight of the dinosaurs. He knew they were witnessing something truly special, a moment that would be etched in their memories forever. As they stood in awe, the realization of their mission settled in. They were not just observers, they were protectors of this incredible world, tasked with ensuring that these creatures continued to thrive in their natural habitat. As the team stood mesmerized by the sight of the dinosaurs grazing peacefully by the river, Isabella felt a surge of inspiration. She turned to her teammates, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "We need to take photographs and detailed notes of everything we see here. This is invaluable data that we can share with our allies back home." Alex nodded in agreement, already pulling out his camera. "That's a great idea, Izzy. Documenting our findings will not only help us understand the ecosystem better but also advocate for its protection." Michael, equally excited, began jotting down observations in his notebook. We should record the behaviors we're witnessing, the interactions between species, and any unique characteristics we observe. Lindsay quickly grabbed her camera, eager to capture the moment. Let's make sure we get a range of shots, wide-angle views of the landscape and close-ups of the dinosaurs. The team sprang into action, spreading out slightly to cover different angles while remaining vigilant about their surroundings. Isabella took the lead, snapping photos of the brachiosaurus as they gracefully reached for the treetops, their long necks silhouetted against the blue sky. Meanwhile, Connor focused on the triceratops, capturing their distinctive frills and horns. These details will be crucial for our research, he murmured to himself, feeling the thrill of discovery. Jackson, keeping a watchful eye on his crate, glanced over at the dinosaurs with a mix of pride and excitement. He knew that these moments were rare, and he was grateful to be part of such an incredible experience. As the team documented the scene, laughter and chatter filled the air, a joyful reminder of their shared purpose. They were not just scientists, they were explorers, witnesses to a world that had existed long before their time. After a while, they regrouped, eager to share their findings and compare notes. Each member of the team felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing they were contributing to a cause greater than themselves. As the sun began its slow descent toward the horizon, casting long shadows through the dense canopy of the jungle, Jackson turned to the team with a sense of urgency. We should find somewhere to set up camp for the night before it starts to get dark. It can get pretty treacherous out here once the sun goes down. The team nodded in agreement, recognizing the wisdom in Jackson's suggestion. They had already witnessed the wonders of Isla Sorna, but they also understood the importance of safety as night approached. Let's find a clearing near the river, Isabella suggested, glancing around at the thick foliage. It would provide us with a water source and a good vantage point for any wildlife. Michael added, we should also look for a spot that's elevated, if possible. It'll help with ventilation and keep us safer from any potential predators. With a plan in mind, the team gathered their gear and began their trek through the jungle, moving cautiously yet purposefully. The sounds of the jungle surrounded them, the calls of distant creatures, the rustle of leaves, and the occasional splash of water from the river. As they navigated the underbrush, Jackson kept a close eye on his crate, ensuring it remained secure while also remaining aware of their surroundings. The thrill of adventure coursed through him, but so did the weight of his secret. After some time, they stumbled upon a small clearing that met their criteria. It was slightly elevated, with a view of the river and enough space for their tents. The area was surrounded by tall trees, providing a natural barrier against the elements. This looks perfect, Lindsay said, her eyes lighting up as she surveyed the location. We can set up our camp here. The team quickly got to work, setting up tents and organizing their supplies. Jackson felt a wave of relief wash over him as they established their base for the night. The familiar routines of camping brought a sense of comfort amidst the wildness of the island. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the horizon in hues of orange and pink, the team gathered around a small fire they had built. They shared stories of their experiences, laughter echoing through the clearing as the stars began to twinkle above. With the day winding down, they felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the team settled around the flickering fire, the warmth and camaraderie provided a comforting atmosphere amidst the wildness of Isla Sorna. However, as night began to envelop the jungle, Isabella felt a sense of responsibility wash over her. She turned to the group, her voice steady. I think we should take turns on watch during the night to ensure everyone's safety. We don't know what might be lurking out there, and it's better to be cautious. The team nodded in agreement, recognizing the importance of vigilance in such an unpredictable environment. Jasmine stepped forward, a determined look on her face. I'll take the first watch. I'm used to being alert at night, and I want to make sure everyone gets some rest. Alex smiled at his wife, appreciating her willingness to take charge. I'll take the next shift after you, Jasmine. That way, we can keep an eye on things as the night progresses. The team quickly organized themselves, setting up a schedule for the night. With Jasmine on watch first, the others began to settle into their tents, their bodies weary from the day's adventures. As the fire crackled softly, casting dancing shadows around the clearing, Jasmine took her position a short distance away, her gaze scanning the darkened jungle. The sounds of the night filled the air, chirps, rustles, and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. Alex, preparing to rest, cast one last glance at Jasmine, feeling reassured by her presence. Just call out if you need anything, he said, settling into his sleeping bag. With the team now resting, Jasmine remained vigilant, her senses heightened as she listened to the sounds of the jungle. The night was alive with activity, and she felt a sense of connection to the world around her. As the hours passed, Jasmine's watch was uneventful, the tranquility of the night offering a brief respite from the chaos of the day. But she remained alert, knowing that danger could lurk just beyond the shadows. As the night deepened, Jackson remained awake, his thoughts swirling with the events of the day. While the rest of the team settled into their tents, he quietly unzipped his own and allowed his velociraptor companion to slip inside. The creature, still young and full of energy, curled up beside him, its eyes blinking sleepily as it adjusted to the dim light of the tent. Jackson gently stroked the raptor's head, feeling the warmth of its scales beneath his fingers. "You did great today, buddy," he whispered, hoping to soothe any lingering anxiety in the creature. "I know it's a lot to take in, but we're in this together." The velociraptor nuzzled closer to Jackson, its breathing steadying as it settled into a comfortable position. Jackson felt a rush of affection for the creature, knowing that their bond was special. He had raised it from an egg, and the thought of protecting it amidst the dangers of Isla Sorna filled him with determination. As the sounds of the jungle enveloped them, Jackson remained vigilant, listening intently for any signs of danger. He knew he was taking a risk by keeping the raptor hidden, but he couldn't bear the thought of being separated from it, especially in such a wild and unpredictable environment. The night wore on, and Jackson found solace in the presence of his companion. He whispered soft reassurances, recounting stories of their adventures together, hoping to keep both their spirits high. Outside the tent, Jasmine continued her watch, her senses alert to the sounds of the jungle. The peace of the night was comforting, but Jackson remained aware that anything could change in an instant. As the night wore on, Alex stirred awake, feeling the weight of sleep lift from his eyelids. He glanced around the campsite, noting that Jasmine was still on watch, her silhouette visible near the fire. He decided to check on everyone before taking over his shift. Quietly, he made his way to each tent, ensuring that his team members were safe and sound. When he reached Jackson's tent, he noticed that the zipper was slightly ajar. Curiosity piqued, he gently pulled it open and peeked inside. What he saw took him by surprise. Jackson was wide awake, his eyes reflecting the low light of the tent, and nestled beside him was the velociraptor, sleeping soundly, its small body curled up against Jackson's side. "Jackson," Alex whispered, stepping inside the tent quietly. "What's going on?" Jackson immediately shushed him, his expression a mix of urgency and concern. "Alex, please don't tell anyone about this. I don't want him to leave me. Not after I raised him for 2 years already." Alex felt a rush of understanding. He could see the bond between Jackson and the raptor was genuine, forged through years of care and companionship. "I won't say a word, I promise," he replied softly, his voice steady. "But you need to be careful. If anyone finds out." "I know," Jackson interrupted, his voice barely above a whisper. "I just can't bear the thought of losing him." Alex nodded, recognizing the importance of Jackson's secret. He respected the connection his friend had with the creature and understood the risks involved. "Just keep him safe, okay? We'll figure this out together." With a silent agreement, Alex stepped back out of the tent, leaving Jackson to comfort his companion. Jasmine, noticing Alex's return, stretched and yawned, her watch coming to an end. "Everything all right?" she asked, her voice low. "Yeah, just checking in," Alex replied. "It's time for my shift now. Get some rest." As Jasmine settled into her sleeping bag, Alex took a deep breath, ready to embrace the quiet of the night. He positioned himself near the fire, scanning the darkness that surrounded their camp, determined to keep his team safe as they ventured deeper into Isla Sorna. As the night deepened, the sounds of the jungle continued to fill the air, but a new presence stirred within the camp. Michael Brown, having caught a few hours of sleep, emerged from his tent, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. He spotted Alex sitting by the fire, his gaze scanning the darkness, and approached with a sense of purpose. "Hey, Alex," Michael said, his voice low but eager. "I couldn't sleep. I've been thinking about our plans for tomorrow, and I wanted to discuss our approach." Alex turned to face him, grateful for the company. "Of course, Michael. I'm all ears. What's on your mind?" "I think we should focus on the areas near the river first," Michael suggested, his enthusiasm evident. "The sightings we've had today indicate that there's a diverse range of species in the vicinity. We could gather more data on their behaviors and interactions." "That sounds like a solid plan," Alex replied, nodding in agreement. "We can set up observation points and document everything we see. It'll be crucial for our report." Michael continued, his excitement building. "Also, I think we should consider how the ecosystem here interacts with the dinosaurs. If we can understand their relationships with the flora and fauna, it could help us advocate for their protection." As they discussed their strategy, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The prospect of uncovering more about Isla Sorna's ecosystem filled him with anticipation. "Let's finalize our approach before sunrise," Alex said, feeling the weight of their mission settle in. "We'll need to be organized and ready to adapt as we explore." The two continued to talk, their voices blending with the sounds of the jungle around them. The night was still, but the promise of adventure and discovery loomed on the horizon. As the first light of dawn crept over Isla Sorna, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jackson felt the warmth of the sun on his face. He knew it was time to prepare for the day ahead. Quietly, he unzipped his tent and carefully lifted the velociraptor from its resting place beside him. The creature stirred slightly but remained asleep, its small body warm against his hands. Jackson moved swiftly, ensuring that no one was watching as he sneaked the raptor back into the crate. He gently placed it inside, covering it with a blanket and rearranging his luggage on top to keep it hidden. He took a moment to stroke the raptor's head, whispering, "Stay quiet for me, buddy. We'll get through this." Just then, Alex stepped outside of his tent and whistled sharply, the sound echoing through the clearing. "All right, everyone. Rise and shine. It's time to get ready for the day ahead." The sound of Alex's whistle stirred the team from their slumber. Connor emerged first, rubbing his eyes as he took in the beauty of the island bathed in morning light. "What's the plan for today?" he asked, yawning. Isabella followed closely behind, her hair tousled but her spirit high. "I can't wait to see what we discover today." As the team began to gather around the fire, Jackson took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. He knew he had to remain vigilant, but the thrill of exploration was undeniable. Jasmine joined the group, her expression determined. "Let's make sure we have everything we need before we head out. We should check our supplies and finalize our route." With the sun rising higher in the sky, the team felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were ready to uncover the secrets of Isla Sorna and protect its inhabitants, one discovery at a time. As the team gathered around the fire, the morning sun cast a warm glow over their campsite, illuminating their eager faces. Alex took a moment to assess the group, feeling the energy of anticipation in the air. "All right, everyone," he said, his voice steady and commanding. "Let's review our map and finalize our route for the day. We need to make sure we're all on the same page before we head out." Isabella nodded enthusiastically, pulling out the map they had brought along. "I marked the areas where we've had sightings and where we might encounter different species. We should prioritize those locations." Michael leaned in closer, studying the map with keen interest. "If we head toward the river first, we can gather data on the herbivores we saw yesterday. After that, we could venture deeper into the jungle to explore the areas where we might find predators." Connor chimed in, his excitement palpable. "That sounds like a solid plan. I'm particularly interested in documenting the behavior of the Triceratops. They're fascinating creatures." Jasmine added, "We should also keep an eye out for any signs of danger. If we encounter any predators, we need to be prepared to react quickly." Jackson, still feeling the weight of his secret, nodded in agreement. "Let's make sure we stay together as a team. We can't afford to split up too much, especially in unfamiliar territory." With their route decided, the team felt a sense of unity and purpose solidifying among them. They quickly gathered their gear, double-checking supplies and ensuring everyone was ready for the adventure ahead. As they prepared to set out, the excitement of the unknown filled the air, and each member of the team felt the thrill of discovery coursing through their veins. As the team finished packing their gear and preparing for the day ahead, Jackson took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He glanced around at his teammates, their excitement palpable, but he knew they needed to be cautious. "Before we head out," Jackson began, raising his voice to capture everyone's attention, "I think we should take a moment to review our safety protocols. We need to ensure everyone knows what to do in case we encounter any dangerous situations." Isabella nodded, appreciating Jackson's foresight. "That's a good idea. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and forget about safety." Michael stepped forward, his experience guiding the conversation. "Let's go over the key points. First, we should always stay together as a team. Splitting up can lead to dangerous situations, especially in unfamiliar territory." "Agreed," Jasmine added. "If we encounter a dinosaur, we need to remain calm and avoid sudden movements. If it seems aggressive, we should back away slowly without turning our backs on it." Connor chimed in, "And we should always have a plan for emergencies. If someone gets hurt or we encounter a predator, we need to know how to react quickly and effectively." Jackson felt a sense of pride as the team discussed their protocols, each member contributing their thoughts and insights. "Let's also make sure we have a communication plan. If we get separated, we should use our walkie-talkies to stay in touch." With their safety protocols reviewed and reinforced, the team felt more prepared to face the challenges of Isla Sorna. They gathered their gear one last time, ensuring that everyone was ready for the adventure that lay ahead. As they set off toward the river, the excitement in the air was palpable, but now it was tempered with a sense of caution and readiness. With their safety protocols fresh in their minds, Jackson stepped forward to take the lead, his instincts guiding him as they began their trek toward the river. The jungle was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves, but Jackson's focus was sharp, ensuring that everyone stayed close together as they navigated the dense underbrush. He kept the crate containing his velociraptor securely by his side, glancing at it occasionally to reassure himself that it was safe. The blanket covering it remained undisturbed, and Jackson felt a surge of protectiveness wash over him. He knew the raptor depended on him, and he was determined to keep it hidden and safe throughout their exploration. "Stay close, everyone," Jackson called back to the team, his voice steady. "We don't want to get separated, especially in this dense foliage." Isabella walked beside him, her excitement bubbling over. "I can't wait to see what we find at the river. I hope we encounter more dinosaurs." Michael followed closely, his eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of wildlife. "Let's keep our eyes peeled for tracks or any indications of where the dinosaurs might be heading." As they moved deeper into the jungle, the sunlight filtered through the canopy above, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. The air was thick with humidity and the rich scent of earth and vegetation, invigorating their senses. Connor, trailing slightly behind, took out his camera, ready to capture any interesting flora or fauna they might encounter. "I'll be on the lookout for anything unique to document," he said, excitement evident in his voice. Jackson felt a sense of camaraderie enveloping them as they trekked through the jungle, each member of the team contributing to their collective mission. He knew that as long as they stayed together and remained vigilant, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed from the bushes nearby, causing Jackson to pause and turn his attention toward the source of the noise. He felt his heart race, instinctively tightening his grip on the crate. Jackson raised his hand, signaling for the team to stop. The rustling in the bushes had become more pronounced, and a low growl reverberated through the air, sending a chill down his spine. The sound was unmistakable. It came from the apex predator of the island, the T-Rex. "Everyone, stay still and remain calm," Jackson ordered, his voice steady but firm. He could feel the tension in the air as the team froze in place, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and awe. The growl intensified, echoing through the jungle, and Jackson's heart raced as he kept his gaze fixed on the source of the sound. He knew they needed to be cautious. Any sudden movements could provoke the powerful creature. Isabella's breath hitched in her throat, her excitement mingling with apprehension. "Do you think it's close?" she whispered, her eyes darting around the dense foliage. Michael nodded, his expression serious. "We need to stay quiet and avoid drawing attention to ourselves. If we can remain still, the T-Rex may lose interest." Connor held his camera tightly, his instincts battling between his desire to capture the moment and the need to prioritize safety. "What if it comes this way?" he murmured, eyes wide. Jackson took a step closer to the crate, ensuring it remained secure and hidden. "We'll be fine as long as we don't provoke it. Just breathe and stay calm." The growling continued, and the bushes began to shake as the massive creature shifted within the underbrush. Jackson could feel the anticipation building among the team, each member holding their breath as they waited to see what would happen next. With the T-Rex so close, the reality of their situation settled in. They were in the presence of a living legend, a creature that had roamed the earth millions of years ago, and now they were witnessing it in its natural habitat. In an instant, the underbrush parted, and the T-Rex emerged from the shadows, its colossal form towering over the team. The ground trembled beneath its weight, and its powerful jaws opened slightly, revealing rows of sharp teeth. The creature paused, its keen eyes scanning the area as it took in the scent of the intruders. The team stood frozen, hearts pounding in their chests, each member acutely aware of the sheer power of the dinosaur before them. The T-Rex seemed to sense their presence, its nostrils flaring as it investigated the scenery around it, searching for any sign of movement. Jackson held his breath, every instinct telling him to remain silent and still. He could see the muscles rippling beneath the T-Rex's scales, a reminder of the raw strength this predator possessed. He felt a mix of awe and fear, knowing they were witnessing a moment few would ever experience. Isabella's eyes widened as she caught a glimpse of the T-Rex's massive claws digging into the earth. "It's incredible," she whispered, barely able to contain her excitement. "Look at it." Michael, equally captivated, raised his camera slowly, careful not to make any sudden movements. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity," he murmured, ready to document the encounter. The T-Rex continued to investigate, its gaze flicking back and forth, seemingly unaware of the team's presence. For a moment, the world around them faded away, and all that existed was the magnificent creature before them. But Jackson knew they had to remain cautious. The T-Rex could easily become agitated, and any sudden movement could provoke it. He felt a surge of responsibility for the safety of his team and the velociraptor hidden in his crate. The tension in the air was palpable as the T-Rex continued its survey of the area. Each member of the team stood motionless, hearts pounding in unison, as they watched the massive creature. Then, as if deciding that the intruders posed no threat, the T-Rex turned away, its colossal tail swaying, and lumbered back into the dense foliage of the jungle. A collective sigh of relief swept through the team, the weight of the encounter slowly lifting from their shoulders. The danger had passed, and they had narrowly avoided a confrontation with one of the island's most formidable predators. Jackson exhaled deeply, feeling the adrenaline ebb away. "All right, everyone," he said, his voice steady once more. "Let's keep moving. We need to make the most of the daylight." Isabella nodded, her excitement tempered by the recent encounter. "That was incredible, but I'm glad it's over. Let's see what else this island has to offer." Michael adjusted his camera, ensuring that the few photographs he had managed to take were preserved. "We should document everything we see from here on out. Encounters like that are invaluable." The team regrouped, their spirits buoyed by the shared experience. They continued their trek through the jungle, the sounds of the island enveloping them once more. The path ahead was uncertain, but their resolve was stronger than ever. As they moved deeper into the heart of Isla Sorna, the thrill of discovery and the promise of adventure propelled them forward, each step bringing them closer to the secrets the island held. After the adrenaline-filled encounter with the T-Rex, the team decided it was wise to take a short break. They found a small clearing where the sunlight filtered gently through the canopy, casting a warm glow over the jungle floor. It was a perfect spot to pause and collect their thoughts. Jackson set down his crate carefully, ensuring the velociraptor inside remained undisturbed. The team gathered around, pulling out their notebooks and cameras to review the observations and photographs they had captured. Isabella flipped through her notes, her eyes wide with excitement. "I can't believe we actually saw a T-Rex up close. Its size and presence were just overwhelming." Michael nodded, reviewing the shots on his camera. "These photographs will be invaluable for our research. We've captured something truly extraordinary." Connor, still buzzing from the experience, jotted down his thoughts. "The way it moved, so powerful yet so graceful. It's amazing to think these creatures once roamed the earth freely." Lindsay chimed in, her voice filled with awe. "And the fact that it didn't attack us. It's a reminder of how we need to respect their space and behaviors." As they shared their insights, the team felt a renewed sense of purpose. The encounter had not only been a thrilling experience but also a stark reminder of the delicate balance between humans and nature. They were here to protect and understand, not to interfere. With their notes reviewed and spirits lifted, they prepared to continue their journey, eager to uncover more of Isla Sorna's secrets. With their notes reviewed and excitement bubbling within them, the team decided to press on toward the river. The allure of exploration was too strong to resist, and they were eager to uncover more of what Isla Sorna had to offer. As they moved through the jungle, Jackson took the lead again, keeping a watchful eye on his crate while also scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. He knew they needed to remain vigilant, especially with the potential presence of bison or engine workers lurking nearby. "Let's stay alert," Jackson reminded the group, his voice low but firm. "We don't know what we might encounter, so keep an eye out for anything unusual." Isabella nodded, her senses heightened as she took in the sights and sounds around her. "I'll keep my camera ready. If we spot anything interesting, I want to capture it." Michael walked beside her, his expression thoughtful. "We should also look for any signs of human activity, discarded equipment, footprints, anything that indicates they've been here." As they navigated the dense underbrush, the sounds of the jungle surrounded them, the rustling of leaves, the calls of distant birds, and the occasional splash of water from the river ahead. The anticipation of discovery fueled their determination, but the underlying tension of potential threats kept them focused. After a short trek, the team finally caught sight of the river, its waters glistening in the sunlight. They could hear the gentle flow of the current, and the sight of the lush vegetation along the banks filled them with excitement. "Let's approach carefully," Jackson suggested, his instincts sharpening as they neared the water's edge. "We don't want to startle any wildlife." As they reached the riverbank, they paused to take in the scene before them. The tranquility of the water contrasted with the wildness of the jungle surrounding it, and they felt a sense of awe at the beauty of Isla Sorna. As the team stood by the riverbank, taking in the serene beauty of the scene, Jackson considered their next move. The river stretched out before them, its banks teeming with potential discoveries. He turned to the group, his mind racing with possibilities. "Let's split into pairs to explore different areas along the riverbank," Jackson suggested, his voice filled with determination. "We can cover more ground that way and document anything interesting we find." The team quickly agreed, and they formed pairs based on their strengths and interests. Michael joined Jackson, eager to share insights and observations as they delved deeper into the jungle. Isabella paired up with Rachel, her camera ready to capture any photographic opportunities that arose. Alex and Jasmine, seasoned adventurers, took a moment to plan their route, ensuring they could explore efficiently while staying safe. Lindsay and Connor, both brimming with enthusiasm, decided to focus on the flora and fauna, eager to uncover the secrets hidden along the riverbank. Rebecca and Jacob, both experienced in fieldwork, set off together, their eyes scanning the area for signs of dinosaur activity or human interference. As the pairs ventured along the riverbank, the sounds of the jungle enveloped them, creating a symphony of nature that fueled their curiosity. Each pair communicated through their walkie-talkies, ensuring they remained connected and aware of each other's progress. Jackson and Michael moved with purpose, their eyes keenly observing the landscape. "Keep an eye out for any signs of human activity," Jackson reminded Michael. "We need to know if bison or Injun have been here." Meanwhile, Isabella and Rachel paused to photograph a group of colorful birds perched on a nearby branch, their vibrant plumage a stunning contrast against the greenery. Alex and Jasmine navigated the terrain with practiced ease, their bond evident in their synchronized movements. "Stay close," Alex advised, his gaze sweeping the area for any potential threats. Lindsay and Connor marveled at the diverse plant life, noting the unique characteristics of each species they encountered. "This place is incredible," Connor remarked, his excitement palpable. Rebecca and Jacob followed a trail of footprints, intrigued by the possibility of discovering a new dinosaur species. Their shared passion for exploration drove them forward, eager to uncover the island's mysteries. As the pairs continued their exploration, the promise of discovery and adventure filled the air, each step bringing them closer to the wonders of Isla Sorna.